Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, seekers, and sojourners of truth. The 144, the chosen of the chosen few. I greet you all in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours, sending you all each flash for miles, everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. So today I'm speaking to you about the full moon, this beautiful full moon in Virgo. This is a full moon in Virgo, and I'm giving you the galactic aspect. Of course, I got to give you the galactic news to infuse with this full moon. And this is usually, for those who don't know about the full moon, it is usually when it is in opposition to the sun, right? You hear even the birds are like, whoop, whoop. The birds always come with the word as I sit out in nature. But yes, it's when the moon and the sun are in opposition, and right now it is opposing the sun. It's in an opposition at specifically 16 degrees. And there's a lot we're going to go into about this full moon, because this one is packing with this full moon. And so it's at 16 degrees. I want us to look at the numbers, because the numbers mean something too. So 16, which reduces to 7, 6 and 1 is 7. And it's been at 16 degrees. This is a super full moon, right? There's so much I got to get into. I feel like it's all over the place, but I'm going to give it to you. The super full moon is when the moon is the closest to the earth. It's when it's considered super full moon. And you're going to see it when you look out. It looks really, really big and bright. It's a super full moon. And we've had 6 consecutive full moons with the degrees, where the degrees were 16 degrees, both the sun and the moon being at 16 degrees. So here's another one where it is at 16 degrees. And of course, like I said, that 1 and 6 is 7. And 7 is a universal number. And we got a lot of 7 going on if you look at numbers. Yes, I'm going to throw a little bit of numbers, numerology in there. The date is on 7, right? The day of the full moon is March the 7th. So there's another 7. If you count up all of the numbers in that day, meaning March 3rd, the 7th, 2023, count up all the numbers and you will get 16 again, which again reduces to 7. So we're seeing 777, and 7 is definitely highlighting a level of completion, right? 7 is one of the numbers of completion for individually as well as collectively. It's a completion, right? Especially for the collective earth. 7 meaning, it has that meaning of heaven on earth. It has that meaning of lightning bolt, like it's coming to give us a lightning bolt of messages, heaven on earth. How some may look at it is like, and when I say heaven on earth, it doesn't mean it's just on magical earth, but it can be for some people. But it's really the fact that heaven, meaning we're going to open up to the heavens. We're going to have a connection with the divine. So it's like more and more as we enter into this new age, which is what this is, everything that's happening this cosmic month. This is a month of great cosmic shift. So it's not just the full moon, but we have Saturn going into Pisces on the day of the full moon. We have Pluto going into Aquarius at the end of the month. So there's a lot going on, and we have all these planets that's backing us up. It's an exciting time because it's backing us up, supporting us. When I say backing us up, it's giving us the support that we need to go forward into that next age. Everything is supporting us. So there is a lot of energy that is happening. And don't forget Chiron. We got Jupiter and Chiron conjunction that's happening a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days, I believe, after the full moon. And some people are already feeling the effects of that. So there is a lot of energy that is happening. And these stars, like I always say, the cosmos they're a map to what is inside of us. It's a map to help us get into the universe of our own minds, because it's not just the universe out there, it's the universe within. So the cosmos out there, as we say, as above, so below, as within, so without. So it is very interactive and intrinsic with us as well if we pay attention. It's not just looking in the stars outside, you're looking at the stars inside of you. So also look inside your map, in your natal map, and see where these planets line up for you, because it could tell what's happening with you. Where's your north node? Where's your south node? I can tell you it's very important to look at that right now, because it'll tell you where you're coming from. It'll tell you where you're going, so we're getting assistance in so many ways. So let's look at the planets that are in Pisces, right? Because we're talking about how we get in this whole support. You know, the earth, the collective earth is being that it's in the sign of Pisces, which is, as I said, spiritual, intuitive, and we have like several other planets backing it up, right? And it's ushering us into the higher realms of spirituality, which is going to help get us right where we need to be for the next age, in the age of the Aquarian, the age of the knowing, the fifth dimension, all of this that we're all talking about, the galactic community, this entire cosmic design, which is very intrinsic. So this is where you're actually seeing, if we're paying attention, we're actually seeing these planets support all of this. It's like, go ahead, you got this, you know. So it's like Pluto, which is going into Aquarius. It's like it's feeling the support of the other planets. The other planets are holding it down, ushering everybody into spirituality, and Pluto is like, all right, y'all got this, because I'm about to shift into Aquarius. I'm about to take y'all into the new age. You got everybody ready. You got everybody on these spiritual ones and twos and dotting their I's and crossing their T's, the P's and Q's, whatever you got it. And that's what it's like. Pluto's looking back and has that support, especially Saturn. Saturn is the big dog. You know, Pluto's like, Saturn, you got me? Oh, you in? Okay, Saturn's locked in, because Saturn is coming with the restrictions, right? Restrictions that help. It's an earth sign, so it's helping to balance. And then keep in mind, Pluto is coming out of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. So it's like Saturn and Pluto kind of working together, especially with coming from that Capricorn energy, tearing down what needs to be torn down. You know, Pluto went ahead and did what it had to do while it was in Capricorn season for the past, about 12 years or so. Saturn was in Aquarius for the past 3 years, you know, bringing restrictions and doing what it got to do. So you could see there was some cleanup that needed to happen before we get to this. This is a thing. I don't think we all realize this, how intelligent the cosmic design is. This is where they say, you know how they say God never gives you more than you can bear? That's it right there. The cosmos are the great order of divinity. That is God. There is no separation. So the great order of divinity never gives you more than you can bear. So you can see how these planets are like really helping us. Like, here, you take care of this. Oh, we need them to collectively clean this up first. And it's helping to bring the collective to a certain level. Like, even though some people are, you know, still under the radar, still behind, to be honest, a lot more people are waking up. And especially in this time right now, a lot more people are going to be being called. Spirit is calling. A lot more people are going to be called into this right now, into the Pisces. So it reminds me of something someone was saying about the waters dragging them in, and them not wanting to be just pulled into spirit. But guess what? That's what's happening. The tides are rising. You know, the Pisces is bringing this water. The tides are rising. This is why you're seeing Mother Earth flood out everything as well. Earth is also very intrinsic. Earth is a consciousness. So the tides are rising, and it's bringing, you know, it's pulling everybody in. Let's go into the unknown. You know, that reminds me, the theme that I'm seeing for this full moon is trusting the unknown of the spiritual realm. So this is what we're doing with everything that's happening. It's calling for us to trust the unknown of the spiritual realm. Go more spiritual, meaning go more intuitive, not just doing spiritual things, but really unlocking your mind into the spiritual realm of space and time. So this is the theme. And it's like, as I say that's the theme, and it's like I could hear this. I keep hearing it in the back of my mind. You know, those of you who got children and watch Frozen, like I keep hearing into the unknown. Like, this is where we're going. And I keep hearing it like, into the unknown. Where we going? Into the unknown. Like the universe is just screaming that behind us. We are going into the unknown. Do you trust it? And this is what is being asked of us, to trust the experience of entering into the unknown. So how do we see all of that? If we just look at these planets, we have Neptune, which is the ruling planet of Jupiter, is in not Jupiter, the ruling planet, I was going to say, because Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces, but Neptune is officially now the ruling planet of Pisces. And Neptune is usually the planet about not illusions, but you know, like same thing, like spiritual and looking beyond things that can appear as illusions and things like that. If you're not careful with Neptune, you can get caught in being in illusions, which is why, you know, it's like a double whammy of spirituality. It's like we're getting a double up of the spirituality with Neptune being in its home sign of Pisces, both being spiritual. And the shadows of that is you can be caught in a dream state, or you can be caught in, you know, disillusions, you know, really off there. So the good thing is we're getting a double up of that to carry us into spirituality, to carry the masses, most of the collective who are like the non-believers, or maybe coming from backgrounds where they're not so spiritual. Like they need this double dose of spirituality and believing and dreaming. They need that double dose. But then here's the thing that helps us with the double dose. Not only the full moon in Virgo, which is a practical sign, but Saturn going into Pisces, because Saturn is about the restrictions. It's another earth sign, so it's also about being a bit more practical. So Saturn is like holding the reins. You know, Saturn is helping us because it's like, don't go over the deep end. You know, Neptune got you there, but don't go over the deep end. So Saturn comes in to kind of pull the reins back a little, just to make sure you don't go over the deep end. And not only that, another aspect of Saturn that I personally can't wait to see is, and because I just know it, my spidey senses, it's just, I know it's going to blow open the false spiritualists, the false, anything spiritual that is false, like false religions, doctrines, all of that, which a lot of people are aware of anyway. But it's really going to highlight that, especially people who have been abusing spirituality lately, because spirituality has been on the rise. So you find that those agents, those reptilian energies, those dark energies have crossed over now to utilizing and using people to give this facade of they're helping you with spirituality, but they're really not. They're either taking your money, they're wasting your time, or it's also becomes a feeding. I call it a feasting. They're feasting on your souls. They're harvesting your souls for their own personal gain and purpose. And most of them don't even know they're doing it, because it is according to their unhealed wounds. A lot of people are acting unconscious and subconsciously, and they may think they're doing a good thing, but they're not truly being attuned with the divine and spirit, and really coming from a heart-centered place, right? So this Saturn, I feel like when Saturn comes in and hit Pisces, it's also going to be a part of, like, let's wrap it up. Let's clear this up. This is a lie. You know, it's people are going to start to see, faithfully, people are going to start to see that when they come and they put these restrictions on some of these fake spiritual aspects or entities, you're going to see what's really what. Like, they're going to get their shut down. That's how I'm seeing it. So, you know, we'll see when time comes. So it depends. But the good aspect is it's pulling the reins, so we don't go off the deep end into dreamy world land with the double up of Neptune and Pisces. So with that said, you know, moving along, what's another planet we could look at is Mercury. Mercury being in Pisces, those of you who know, Mercury is all about communication and travel, talking about astro traveling. How many of y'all are really going somewhere in your dreams right now? So Mercury is bringing that intergalactic, intertelecommunication between the cosmos and us. This is why, as the veils are even more thin, a lot of us are having communications with our ancestors, our guides, angelic hosts, celestial beings, whatever it is that you want to call it. A lot of us are having more into telecommunication, and they're aware, like they know, they're communicating with us, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. It may be just happening in your dreams. You maybe get a vision, but the communication is definitely up. So Mercury is also helping. So you see how all these planets are like, you know, really pushing the Pisces theme. Like, here you go, nothing but spirituality. And the other planet, let's see, there's Venus. Venus, I believe, was in Pisces still, maybe just entered Aries. And so there's a couple of planets in Aries too. That would be Venus. There's 3 in Pisces, 3 in Aries at the time of the full moon. And so that would be Venus and Jupiter and Chiron that are in Aries. And so if we're even looking at that, most of the planets are in Pisces or Aries. There's a beginning, there's an ending. We're still seeing an ending and a new beginning. Pisces is the end of the year, the zodiac year, or as I call it, just the end of the year. It's the real year. And Aries is the beginning of the next year. So it's showing us, we have this energy to jump into the new beginning. And so for that new beginning, we're also seeing Jupiter being conjunct with Chiron, which is expansion. Expanding what? Expanding our unhealed wounds. Now, this may not be so friendly, so likable, but it really is good on us having our soul ascension, because how can we ascend when we have all of this other stuff on let's say the karmic wheels that we need to loop out of? So Chiron is helping to get out of these karmic wheels by doing what? Bringing forth the unhealed wounds, bringing forth things to be revealed to us. And when we have that revelation, then we will get a true healing of the soul, and then allow the soul to be removed of its karmic wheel. Maybe not all of it, but there's a lot of us are going to get work to do within our karmic wheel that's going to help us to unpack some of this junk so that we can help us over into that new life that we're going into. So it's bringing all of this. It's a beautiful time. I know I may seem very excited because for one, this is my first not astrological video, because I did one before, but one specifically talking about the engagement and the transits of the full moon at the time of the full moon. So yes, this is my first full moon video, and I'm just excited about all the energies. This is how the energies are even working. I feel it even pushing me to be more celestial, more into paying attention to these. I've never paid attention to it this much. So I invite you all to allow these energies to move with you in the ways that it is moving with you as well. Don't be afraid of the Chiron, the wounded healer. It's only coming to help. It's bringing up the things that we need to loop out of that karmic will. And those of us who are truly light workers and light warriors, we want this, because we want to loop out, because that's going to help us in our soul ascension, which helps us to enter into the other dimensions of our minds. And the thing that to note for all of us is the more we elevate and evolve into our higher dimensions, the more we open up the communications and the translations of the energetic realms as they flow in and out. Because the ethers, out there in the ethers, they cannot communicate with us when we're on lower frequencies, when we're on lower vibrations. So it's when we raise our temples, our divine temples, and transmit and emit that light out, then we send that information out into the ethers, and so too does it come back in return. And this is how we're working with the energy. So these cosmos are really, really bringing in the news, the good news. So, and I like to give this in regards to, as I say, the galactic news. This helps us to transcend into the new earth. For those of us who are looking for the new earth and working towards the new earth, and probably saying, well, what does this have to do? It has everything to do. The cosmos have everything to do with how we're entering into the new earth. It's almost like it's a guiding, like when you get into the airport, as I've said before, and they're guiding you in. So it helps you know where to port and how to port. How you're going to, park up your plane, how you're going to do this. So I invite us to look at where Chiron is in your chart. I definitely want to advise us to do that. Look at where Chiron is in your chart to see what it is that you have come here to transcend in your lifetime. The Chiron in your chart will tell you that. And then you will know how this applies. And then you'll at least be able to see if something comes up, you'll know that it's going to be from that end or spectrum, and it's going to be expanded so that you can see it big and bold. It's not hiding, unless you want it to hide. So with that, it's going to help in those many ways. And Venus, can't forget Venus. Venus is bringing the beauty so that we can take all of this in stride. Venus is like, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? She's bringing the beauty to all of this, so we don't feel so, ugh. Because, when Chiron is around, it's like, ugh. But Venus is going to be like, isn't it beautiful? It's okay. Look at this. Look at your unhealed wound. Like when your parent helps you pick out something that was stuck in your foot, and you like, look at that. Look what we got there. Doesn't that feel better? you know. So Venus is going to be that type of sweet talker. And I invite us to look at our north nodes and south nodes individually. But if you just look at even the collective, our collective, the Earth collective, meaning is our north node is now in Taurus and our south node is in Scorpio. So we're looking at, you know, looking at where we're coming from in the past is the south node, coming from the depths. You know, with Scorpio is about deep emotions, digging deep, and that's what we're coming from in our south node. So even think about that when you think about Chiron. We're coming from the pulling up the deeps, right? And the going forward is in Taurus, which is where Uranus is. So Uranus is even playing its part over there in Taurus with our north node, giving us the revolutionary kick that we need. We need that little the revolution in us that says, yeah, man, I got this. That means even if something is coming up that we don't like, the revolutionary, the Uranus is that Oya energy, that lightning energy that's like, let's do it, let's get it. We need what we need to head towards. We're going north towards this in Taurus, and Taurus is usually about, you know, materials, the finer things in life, and also relationships, being that it's ruled by Venus. So there's a lot that is supporting us here if we allow it. You know, if we allow this revolution in Uranus to kind of help us thrust forward, then we will be able to see the finer things in life. And I'm not just talking about material, but yes, maybe it will manifest as that too, because as within, so without. You'll see your manifestations on the outside. So I'm excited about this full moon. Full moon being in Virgo. What I did not mention too, I did say that Virgo also is bringing the practicality. So let the Virgo, which is reflecting our inner world, bring the practicality. That's what it's really bringing. So in this spiritual state, in this state where it's all intuitive and everything, it's kind of bringing that inner light from our inner world, is said to remind us to be practical. Make practical steps. It doesn't have to be something big, but make little practical, you know, steps for you to do, practical things to do as you turn over a new leaf into this spirituality. Don't just jump off the deep end. Allow Saturn to rein you in and allow the inner spotlight of Virgo to show you practicality and keep you grounded in this spiritual transition. So that's my beautiful take on this full moon in Virgo. I hope you enjoy it. Happy, happy, happy full moon in Virgo. Happy heart chakra day for those of us who are working on the chakras in alignment with the full moon, and enjoy this transit. It's going to be a beautiful time. Just remember that if anything comes up, just remember that Venus beautiful energy saying, hey, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful time. So let's shift into the 5D and shift into the new earth and see what it's all worth. Peace, love, light.